Charlie goes for a swim, Jack heads for the hills, and things are about to explode. We'll have insight on last night's greatest hits and more in today's official Lost podcast hosted by ABC.com. Welcome back to the ultimate podcast for Season 3 of Lost. That's right, this is the last one of the season, and it's a good one. Executive producers Damon, Lindelof, and Carlton Cuse are here today to take your fan questions, and of course tease the season finale by asking what exactly lies through the looking glass. That 2-hour episode airs Wednesday, May 23rd from 9 to 11 p.m., only on ABC.
Well, hi, Damon.
Hey there, Carlton.
I saw you on TV last night.
I saw you on TV last night.
Wow. Do you like that head turn? It's kind of like Paul Moyer on Action News.
It sure is. And all that you've been practicing that all season, and I think you've actually perfected it.
The problem is now I only can turn my head in that one direction now. I can't turn it back the other way.
The one question, though, that was not answered is, and I will answer here now, is why do they do podcasts instead of clip shows? And the answer is because of that head turn.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I have to always sit on the same side of you during the podcast so that I don't have a head turn issue.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't want to turn it in the opposite direction either because you could throw your back out or something.
By the way, it was pointed out to me that on our last podcast, while we did rehash, we did no prehash. We just skipped the prehash and we went right to the questions, and there were some people that were pissed about that.
We didn't rehash.
No, we didn't prehash.
Oh, we didn't prehash Greatest Hits.
Right, so now we can rehash Greatest Hits, which would be kind of, and we'll make it a rehash.
Why don't we just prehash Greatest Hits, which everyone has already seen? Let's start with rehashing Greatest Hits.
So, Damon.
Yes, Carlton.
What is the Looking Glass Station, and who are the people Charlie discovered in it? Chris White is God. Why did Juliet think it was flooded?
First off, I'm going to go ahead and disagree with the primary central thesis of that question. Chris White is probably a lesser deity, but the Looking Glass Station, or the Looking Glass Hatch, as it's referred to in the blueprints, obviously, our guys aren't the only people that think of the word hatch. Is we don't know anything about it, and I'm hoping that we find out significantly more about it in the finale, because I've got a lot of questions like. What are those women doing down there? Are they others? Were they stationed there? If this thing is jamming, did Juliet really think it was flooded, or is this just another lie in her web of lies? Yeah. Why do you think it's called a looking glass, Carlton?
I'm going to say that might be a Alice in Wonderland illusion.
It wouldn't be that's illusion with an A, right?
Yes.
I always confuse those two.
Yeah.
Because when you did an illusion with an I for me this morning, when you made the Six of Hearts disappear and then my belt was gone, that was an illusion.
By the way, I've got your wallet, too. Check.
Impressive. The last time I woke up and my belt was missing, it was not a good illusion.
Yeah, and I was not there, just for the record.
Where were you? I have a question. Is the Looking Glass, while we're on the subject of it, the quote-unquote underwater station that was referred to back on Kelvin's map back in Season 2? Is there any more information that can be gleaned from this map?
I think it was the underwater station referred to back on that map, in fact. This, and obviously the origin, the first time we had any allusion to this station was back in Season 1 when Saeed discovered that wire on the beach.
Interesting.
And people have been asking, what was that wire? Where did that wire go? What was that wire all about? An answer. The show gave us an answer. Thank God, finally.
Can I ask a fairly obvious question then?
Yes.
If the whole purpose is to turn off the jamming mechanism in the Looking Glass Station, why don't they just take out a pair of hedge trimmers and cut the wire? I mean, wouldn't that do the trick?
Well, possibly, but it's also possible that cable wasn't the sole source of power for the Looking Glass.
I also probably...
It could have been a communication cable.
I also probably think if Desmond came up to Charlie and said, I see you cutting the cable, and then you get sand in your eye,
It
and then you
wouldn't really
rub
be
the
quite
sand.
so dramatic.
Probably people wouldn't watch the finale.
But,
More importantly, though, Charlie's alive, which is great news. I mean,
Charlie's
I thought
alive.
for sure that because it was his flashback episode, and especially because the flashbacks were so sentimental, that he was going to die.
But he didn't, and I guess that's kind of how we roll in Lost.
By the way, big shout outs to Eddie and Adam, Kitsis and Horowitz, and Stephen Williams, who directed Greatest Hits, and
did
Dom.
an excellent job. And
Dom,
Dominic.
who was especially awesome. I mean, you know, it's just did great work, and all that underwater work. Not easy to shoot, I'm sure.
Exactly. What do you think? Is Jack's plan going to work with the others by moving up the timeline? I mean, is this the prelude to the big war that's been promised?
Well, I did see an explosion in the coming attractions for next week, so it looks like, you know, somebody's going to get blown up. But knowing Jack's plans in the past, they tend to, they tend to not always work out.
What's actually worse, Jack's plans or Jack operating on you?
Well, let's see. So far, the only person that Jack has managed to save on the island is Ben. So, I guess if you're a bad guy, he's enormously successful in saving your life. But if you're a good guy, you're a goner.
Yeah.
I would just say, off the record, because no one's listening to this.
No, of course.
If Jack's plan were to work, it would probably have horrible repercussions for him personally.
That's true.
And I would just leave it at that.
Yeah.
I would say if anyone can snatch failure from the jaws of success, it's Jack Shepherd.
Yeah, I'm kind of anxious to see what happens, though. And I know that we've promised the audience a definitive answer about Desmond's prognostications by the end of the season. So I guess that means Charlie lives or Charlie dies.
So
definitively.
I just want to know, though, Carlton, if he lives, are you going to continue yanking my chain in the next season? I mean,
No.
He'll be alive, and that'll.
If he's alive,
Desmond
he's
will
alive.
start having flashes about the dog or something,
Exactly.
something else. So move on.
Exactly.
Okay, that's good. We've actually been prehashing without kind of really being aware of it.
Well, let's prehash, but within the parameters of what we were actually going to prehash, because we kind of decided that. Well, first of all, we actually finished work. We're looking at some visual effects today, the sound mixes the next few days, and then we are done with the finale. The finale actually doesn't even get delivered till Tuesday morning for air Wednesday, which tells you kind of what life in Televisionville is like.
Putting it up wet, as they say in the trade.
And
it's kind of like Carlton's shirt right now.
Thanks.
Is that sweat, or
It's
did
sweat.
you
It's
just
kind
hose
of an
down
Albert,
before the show?
It's sort of an Albert Brooks
You
thing.
just
I'm
got
feeling
some
very, very nervous today.
Good definition there.
I don't want to go. I don't want to have another laughter in crisis today.
All right. Well,
So I'm only going to ask you very, very serious questions.
That was
today.
a nice broadcast news reference there for those of you who didn't catch it. But,
Yes.
all right. It's getting heady here at the podcast.
But anyway, we're really going to kind of go into radio silence because the finale we think is very cool. We're very proud of it. But in the finale, we want to allow your own imaginations to kind of arrive at your own conclusions about the events in the finale.
They speak for themselves, but then they don't speak for themselves. And I feel like if we start trying to further clarify what happened, or this is kind of like Locke getting shot a couple weeks ago. Instantly we were sort of barraged with, is he really dead? But just by the nature of answering the question, we begin to give indications of whether he is or not. So I sure hope Locke shows up in the finale. By the way,
Yeah, I do too.
kind of suck if he didn't.
Yeah. So let's move on, shall we?
May I kick it off, Carlton?
Awesome.
Rose and Bernard by Allison in Vegas. Just one post in the last 90 days. It's a nice, sane posting. Hey, Damon and Carlton. I was thrilled to see Rose and Bernard make their long-awaited return in last night's episode. Much like the Addison Shepherd Grey's Anatomy spin-off, I get the sense that you have finally successfully negotiated with ABC to bring us their next big spin-off show, Rose and Bernard Love Island. Is this true? Will we die-hard Rose and Bernard fans finally be rewarded for the long wait? Might you keep Charlie around to join the cast as a pool boy? When Rose told Bernard this isn't pheasant hunting in Montgomery County, Montgomery, of course, is the Kate Walsh, Addison's first name, or maiden name. When he told her he wanted to detonate the dynamite, the euphemism was pretty blatant. I hope the sweet lovemaking off in the jungle will resume soon. Looking forward to the finale, and thanks for the great season, guys. So,
wow.
Do you want to confirm Allison in Vegas' suspicion that we have done a backdoor pilot?
Absolutely. She figured it out. And
we think we're so clever.
There's 48 episodes of Lost left, and then we're going to do 39 episodes of Rose and Bernard.
Love Island.
let me tell you about the post here from Zombie Season Revealed, which was posted by the number 13.
Excellent.
17 posts in the last 90 days.
Nice.
We know anagrams of names are important on this show, but some have gone unnoticed until now. They reveal a lot about the zombie season. Ezra James Sharkington equals hint. Jake grazes on arms. Marvin Candles.
Wait, who's Jake? Oh, I guess that's a short nickname for Jacob. Okay.
That's right. Marvin Candles and Montagn's missing arms. Jacob ate them. It's what invisible zombies do.
What? Okay.
Kate Austin equals Kate ate son. It's in the past tense, so clearly Kate will become a zombie, eat son, and then travel back in time to stop herself.
Wow. Okay. I thought we were being very clever about that one.
I mean, I can't believe they figured all this out. Cindy Chandler equals children candy.
That is a good one.
Those two kids Cindy is always with, she's going to eat them like candy because she's a zombie. Oh, yes, there's one more. Damon Lindelof, Carlton Cuse equals undead on film or cancel Lost. Apparently you guys give yourselves a bit of an ultimatum when you named yourselves.
Wow. I didn't name myself, but just the fact that the word undead can be fashioned out of our combined names is very exciting.
This is the most awesome question of all times. So my question to
right
you,
up there.
Damon and Carlton, is will you now rewrite your plans for the zombie season, or will you continue on even though I figured out all its secrets?
Well, here's the thing. We are ending the show after the 6th season, so regrettably, none of your predictions will ever come to fruition, but maybe in comic book form or something like that. Those ideas are just too good to not do.
Oh my God.
I think.
They are unbelievable.
Carlton, here's a question for you, which you may or may not know the answer to, and if you don't, I'd be happy to help you out, but I think we might have discussed it.
Sure,
this is posted by Sawyer2112, one post in the last 90 days. Hey, Carlton and Damon, Lost is the best show on TV. It's my favorite, and I've listened to all your podcasts since the beginning. You guys are great. I'm just saying that. Just now I'll read his question. Now that I've gotten the formalities out of the way, I would like to know what's up with Charlie's drive shaft ring, the DS. In Greatest Hits, which was another awesome episode, it's explained that Charlie got the ring from his brother Liam. But back in Pilot Part 1, doesn't Charlie say that the ring is from one of his world tours to Kate and Jack? I could be wrong, but could you please clear this up for me? Thanks, guys.
Well, yes, why don't you help me out, Damon?
This was an excellent question, and one that we asked ourselves, which is that basically when we were shooting the pilot, Dominic Monaghan improv'd a line in the pilot where he basically is singing "You All Everybody," and Kate is acknowledging that, oh wait, you are in a rock band, and he taps the ring and he says second tour of Finland, and that's the line, and it goes on, but it was never in any script. So when we were working on this episode and came up with that history for the ring,
right,
and first revealed it, people started saying, I seem to remember Charlie saying something about the ring that might contradict that. So we went back. It wasn't in any script, and then we found it in the episode. But if you watch closely, they are, in fact, in Finland,
yes,
for this flashback. And it is their second tour of Finland. So that Charlie is just referring to, that's when he was given this ring, which we realized, in retrospect, they named the band Drive Shaft after this guy, Dexter Stratton, who is, in fact, a descendant in the Pace clan. And, boy, our show can be confusing sometimes, can it?
Wow. That's pretty cool. All right.
Sorry I asked you a question that I knew the answer to, but
well,
I just felt it was a good one.
You know what? I'm going to ask you a question that I know the answer to.
Excellent.
How's that sound?
Ask
this is actually good. Cerberus is a New York City taxi cab by Arian Robin 29, 2 posts in the last 90 days.
This is going to be a doozy.
Yes, it is true. I was walking to lunch today, like any other day, when I freaked out right there on the sidewalk because I thought the lost monster had somehow found its way to Manhattan. I looked around wildly for the source of that clickety-clickety-clickety-clack, flash-a-flash-a-flash-a sound that always signals the arrival of Cerberus. When it hit me, that is the exact sound the receipt machines in a New York City yellow cab makes. There is no denying it. Just listen to one. Whether or not Cerberus is in fact a yellow cab that's taken on shaman island powers after being sucked to the South Pacific by magnetism or what, The SFX team on Lost is assuredly incorporating this receipt machinery. Don't try to deny it, Carl Mon.
Wow.
The
I
monster,
like that better than Darlton.
The monster is a taxi. Confess. Good day.
Wow. I like the sign out there at the end.
Well, in fact, you are correct.
We will confess.
That sound, we did borrow that, and it was really the genius of Brian Burke who oversees our sound mixing. And we were sort of searching for a really cool, unique sound to play with that monster. And he had the idea of using the taxi cab receipt. And we actually sent one of our sound guys out in a cab to record it out of a real cab in Manhattan.
And it has to be the New York City cab, which is...
And it doesn't, the fact that it was recorded from New York City cab doesn't actually have anything to do with the mythology of Smokey himself. Oh, look, there goes Nick Cage's trailer. Bye-bye. Nick Cage has a very, very big trailer.
Yes.
And it's like takes like 5 minutes to drive past our window. They're moving it out.
And his gym. It's time for another installment of what we see outside the window while we're doing our podcast.
Fitness. God, it would be cool to be Nick Cage. And you not only get a giant trailer, but then you have a second giant trailer, which is just your mobile gym that travels around with you.
This is posted by Unknown VBS, one post in the last 90 days. When Charlie was swimming through the water last night, I had one thought. Where's Ezra James Sharkington? Is he going to come out and attack? I was sorely disappointed when he did not appear. So please, no dodge. Will Ezra James Sharkington be in the season finale where he comes out and eats all the people attacking Charlie? I imagine then that human and shark would become best friends and hang out for the rest of the series. Also, where can I buy my Ezra James Sharkington plush dolls? Thanks a lot. I love the show.
I think we had better actually violate our principle about the finale and probably take him off the hook about next week and give him an answer about Ezra James Sharkington.
No pun intended. I think we should. I think we need to say
he's not going to show up in the finale. Unfortunately,
we could not close his deal.
We were in labor negotiations for a long time, but Ezra had actually a better offer working on Shark.
And also, that's good. Have you been working on that one all week?
It just came to me, surprisingly.
And also, one of our favorite movies ever is Deep Blue Sea, in which Samuel L. Jackson is giving the speech, and the shark comes jumping out of the water.
That's the greatest thing ever.
Bites him in half. And now that we've seen that there is, in fact, a moon pool where Charlie is surfaced, to have Ezra show up and perform any acts of heroism there.
We're getting into dangerous territory, but on the subject of James Sharkington...
Oh, I knew this was coming.
Dear Damon and Carlton... This is posted by James Sharkington. 53 posts in the last 90 days.
Yes.
Dear Damon and Carlton, why didn't Charlie take off his jeans while swimming into the looking glass? I can tell you from experience that swimming with jeans is quite a challenge.
I thought you were going to say, speaking from experience of swimming into underwater Dharma hatches. Okay.
He could have just taken them off, then swam down there only to be found by some hot chicks without his pants on. Love the show, Sharkington.
Wow. Well, it's hard. First off, it's hard to answer that question to somebody who's sitting essentially in a shirt that is completely soaked through, so that I can see every detail. But other than that, I just think Charlie wanted to weigh as much as possible so he could get down to the ocean floor to rapid descent. People asked us this question when Sawyer put his jeans on when he dove into the water, and I guess
our actors like to swim with their pants on.
There's something inherently cool about swimming in your jeans, and I speak from personal experience.
Yeah, well, obviously James Sharkington doesn't agree with that.
I don't like to take my jeans off, ever. I got no questions left, man.
That's it?
That's it.
All
for
right.
Me. You have any more?
I do indeed. First, we want to give a shout out to Damon's rapper name, 5 posts in the last 90 days, for your very nice note. It was more of a note than a question, so I'm not going to ask it. But here's one. I remember that one of you stated in an interview that your plan for Lost was like a planned route for a road trip, and that you knew which landmarks you'd be visiting along the way. So far, what story landmarks have we seen so far? Also, some of us on LostForum.com have been wondering about the possibility of a Lost ride in the vein of Disney's Star Tours. What do you think? I think the second part of the question is really what I would like to ask you.
Well, I want to answer the first part first, which is you have, in fact, seen the world's largest ball of twine.
Yes.
And that would essentially, equate roughly to the monster, I think. in the roadmap of things. You don't know what it means.
And the electromagnetic fence would be a lot like wall drug.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nobody understands why there'd be a ball of twine that big, but there it is.
Yeah.
And the second part of the question is, we have long suggested that they turn Tom Sawyer Island in Disney Land out here in Los Angeles, in Anaheim actually, into Lost Island, where basically you would be catapulted over there in some sort of simulated plane crash. But suffice to say, maybe one day we will have some sort of Lost experience ride.
No Rain
Yeah.
by Zombie Banjo, 9 posts in the last 90 days. Dear Banjo Man Carlton and Pantless Freak Damon.
Wow.
So I've been watching...
Ironically, I wear no pants, and yet if you're going swimming, you better be wearing pants. It's one of the contradictions that makes me me.
Here's the question.
Yes.
I've been rewatching season 1 on DVD, and the one thing that calls my attention, this is the one thing that calls his attention,
Okay.
is that it rains a lot in the first episodes. However, nowadays we hardly see any rain in the island at all. Why is it so? Is it related to the monsoon season, perhaps? Love the show, love the podcast just as much. Please, please don't give us only 35 more of these.
We've actually thought about this, and the reason that it doesn't rain as much is because Dr. Arzt at the end of season 1 says there is a huge monsoon coming. And we always thought it'd be funny if in fact there was a massive drought coming. It actually rained at least once in season 3, twice that I'm aware of. The scene where Kate basically...
when they're in the cage,
is-
when they say,
is-
damn it, Kate,
Yeah,
run.
exactly. It's like, it's raining there when Sawyer's about to get popped. And it's also raining in the episode where Charlie gets the arrow in the neck.
Yeah.
So we've had at least 2 significant downpours in season 3.
But you're right, it hasn't been as rainy as it
It
was.
should be rainy in season 4.
Season 4 should rain all the
And
time.
it should snow.
Snow would be awesome.
We did snow at the end of season 2. And people
We
went,
did.
what? We should do a nice quality hailstorm. You know?
More weather in season 4.
We
Maybe that's it.
we promise, you heard it here first.
Yes.
You tuned into this podcast thinking you get no teases about season 4. You will get hail. You will get more rain. You will get
Wind,
breeze.
breeze,
Heavy breezes. There will be systems moving in. Humidity. All we have to do is, like, humidity is easy to write because it'll just be like, boy, is it humid today. And you could deliver that line in your shirt.
By the way, it's very humid
Yeah.
today. I think we better get out of here.
All right.
This is like, I've
Did
had
you-
enough.
There actually...
There's the phone. We had to wait till the phone rang. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging in with us all season long.
Thank you for watching season 3. We know that it was a little bit of a bumpy road at first, but we really feel that, hopefully we ended on a high note. And
We'll acquit ourselves well with the finale in your eyes.
yes, that is our hope. So until we meet again,
Aloha.
have a wonderful summer.
And mahalo.
Bye-bye, guys.
That wraps up our podcasts for this season, but fear not, we'll be back before long. We'll be around periodically with updates and news. And later in the summer, we'll be bringing you special coverage from Comic-Con. Until then, you can always get your Lost fix by checking out replays of Season 3 at abc.com. And, of course, there's always the DVD to look forward to. The season finale, Through the Looking Glass, airs Wednesday, May 23rd from 9 to 11 p.m. only on ABC.